Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be covering and reviewing Season 2 of Assassination Classroom. Now this might confuse all of you, because why am I randomly reviewing Season 2 of a show without reviewing Season 1? Well, I have actually reviewed Season 1 of the show. When? Oh, just about 8 years ago today. Yep, October 10th, 2017 is when I reviewed Season 1 of the show. And here we are 8 years later, finally getting around to Season 2. I said at the end of my Season 1 review, the Season 2 review will be coming soon. I'd say 8 years later is a little bit longer than soon. But anyway, let's just get into it. So Season 2 actually kicks right off where Season 1 ended, so the students are having their training, assassination training, ramped up by Mr. Karasuma in order to kill Koro Sensei. And the students have gotten a lot better in their techniques since the beginning of the show, but they're not quite there yet. There's a guy called Koro Sensei's brother. Itona is still on a rampage trying to kill Koro Sensei, but then gets neutralized and it ends up becoming part of Class E and helps the students with the assassination attempts on Koro Sensei. Then a guy called the Reaper appears, and his name is important for a little bit later, who kidnaps Irina, who, funnily enough, today is actually her birthday. I did not intend for when I made the Season 1 review to review it on the same day as one of the characters in the show's birthday, but that's how it worked out. Yes, Irina Yelovich, or Miss Professor Bitch, as she's known as by the students, which is a running gag that goes throughout the entire show. It's actually her birthday today. That's kind of funny. I mean, what are the odds of that? So all the students get saved. Mr. Karasuma saves Irina, and the Reaper is taken out by Nagisa. Because of course he is. As Nagisa has learned a new technique where if someone's wavelength is at the exact right mental point, then you can paralyze somebody for a few moments by serving like a shock through their system. Nagisa has learned this and uses this against him. Then later on some complications happen and Class E have to smoke Class A at some things again. And they keep doing it, and they do. Class C uses their impeccable teamwork to outperform and outclass Class A. So because of all that, the principal of the school, who is Mr. Asano, and his son is one of the top students at the school, he becomes A-Class's new teacher, and basically his powers of manipulation and persuasion are so strong that he can have a 3-minute chat with people and immediately turn them into doing whatever he wants. So as the students are ready to go back to normal, Kayano goes berserk, and she also has tentacles that come out of the back of her neck that she can use, she can uses weapons the way Koro Sensei can. So she's trying to take out Koro Sensei all on her own, and she's actually been planning this from the very beginning. But if she uses too much power of her tentacles without the desired result, the tentacles will then kill her instead. So Koro Sensei manages to grab hold of her, pull her in tight, and Nagisa, the only way he thinks to neutralize Kayano is a technique that was actually used on him by Irina pretty much as soon as we met her. And Nagisa walks up to Kayano and just kisses her. If you remember when Irina did that to Nagisa and knocked him out doing it, Nagisa does the same thing to Kayano, not as aggressively as what Irina did it to him, but the desired result still is achieved. So, after defeating Kayano, Koro Sensei finally reveals some of his backstory to the students. Turns out, he was the Reaper, because Koro Sensei was originally a human, and he was the assassin known as the Reaper, before the guy earlier called himself the Reaper. Turns out the guy from earlier was actually Koro Sensei's prodigy, and basically became the Reaper when Koro Sensei became Koro Sensei. So originally Koro Sensei, before when he was a human, basically he went to this research test facility, and he met this woman called Miss Yukimura, who happens to be Kayano's older sister. Now it's starting to make sense why Kayano was the one so aggressively trying to kill Koro Sensei over even more than everyone else. So Koro Sensei spends about a year at this research facility having all sorts of tests done on him, and the one good thing about it for him is that he speaks with Miss Yukimura every day. But after about a year of the experiments, Koro Sensei gains tentacle powers like the ones he uses most of the time now. And he ends up destroying the facility and taking out a bunch of people in there. And just as he's about to escape, Miss Yukimura is trying to stop him, and she gets killed right in front of Koro Sensei, and he's thinking, if he was 0.1 second, if he'd have noticed that 0.1 seconds earlier, he'd have been able to save her. But he didn't notice it in time, and she was killed. And Kayano happened to be there, because Kayano was actually an actress before she joined Class E, and she actually had a different name as well. She changed her name, her hair, colour and style, and just to hide get away from it all. And she saw Miss Yukimura in Koro Sensei's arms. That's why she was so hell-bent on killing him. Because she thinks he was the one that did it, when he didn't actually have anything to do with her being killed. So after hearing this, some of the students actually don't want to kill Koro Sensei anymore. They want to try and find a way to save him. Nagisa being the first person to suggest saving him, whilst Karma decides that no, killing him is still what needs to be done. So they essentially have a paintball match, and whoever's team wins is the de facto winner, and that's what they'll decide to do. But instead, after all that, Karma and Nagisa actually have a physical fight over it, and whoever wins the fight, that's whose this method will be chosen to save or to kill. And it's actually a really well done fight. The way the fight is choreographed, You think because Karma is physically stronger than Nagisa, he's going to win. But because Nagisa has more talent to be an assassin than what Karma does, he is the one that wins the fight. And even when Karma says he gives up at the first time, Nagisa actually holds him down even harder than before. So saving Koro Sensei is what the students decide they're going to try and do. Unfortunately for them, they realise that just isn't possible. And the situation becomes pretty dire because the government literally develops a full-on, like, massive, powerful laser that they plan to use on Koro Sensei if the students can't get the job done in time. So the students have to go through even more turmoil before we get to the end of the series, where Koro Sensei, who revealed his weakness, one of his main weaknesses right at the beginning of Season 2, and that being, if everybody holds down his tentacles, he can't move. So it gets to the end of the series, and Koro Sensei decides before the students kill him, he needs to do roll call, or the register, one more time. So one by one, he calls out each student's name, and they all say here. Each one being slightly more upset than the last. Every single student starts crying. Even Karma starts crying. The only person that fully holds it together is Mr. Karasuma. Nagisa is about to stab Koro Sensei through his tie, which is where his heart is located, to finish it off, but Koro Sensei grabs Nagisa and says that he should feel happy and relieved about doing this. He shouldn't be doing this with anger. So then Nagisa does take Koro Sensei out, and he's finally eliminated, with all of the students just bawling their eyes out, crying over what's happened. Then the students all graduate and all get the 30 billion yen bounty that they were promised for doing so, and they all start living their separate lives we have a 7-year time skip where Mr. Karasuma and Irina have now since gotten married, which is funny because the whole gag between those two for the whole series is Irina trying to get with Mr. Karasuma, and it seems by the end of the series she finally wore him down enough. All the students achieving their dreams. Karma goes into bureaucracy. Good luck with that. Itano works at his family's electronics store. Kaino goes back to acting, and all the other students start actually doing their thing. While Nagisa becomes a teacher at a brand new high school. And the student, unfortunately for Nagisa, in the 7 years since Koro Sensei's eliminated death, Nagisa has grown a grand total of 1 centimeter. When he starts getting ready to teach this class, it's full of delinquents. Like, full of them. So they grab him by like this and basically tell him that they're going to kill him. But because he, of course, has learned his assassination techniques over the years, he uses that same technique to almost paralyze the guy that's got hold of him, and scares the rest of the students absolutely shitless, and make them immediately terrified of him. And that is Assassination Classroom Season 2. It's a very, very good season. The whole show is fantastic, and very highly recommend you watch it, since a brand new movie for the show is coming out next year, covering any of the episodes that were not adapted from the manga due to time constraints. So that's pretty cool. Assassination Classroom is still relevant and will still be relevant in big old 2026. But that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and until we meet again, See you in the next one.